Okay, so after you sew both pieces, so this one's already sewed, after you sew both pieces, you're going to want to leave one inside out here on the left, and then you're going to want to take the one and flip it. So I already flipped this one. Flip it to where the right side is out is on this one. So one inside out, one is right side out. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flip this like that, and you will tuck this one inside of that one. But before you do that, we're going to go ahead and pin in the straps here. So the straps are going to be pinned here, and here, and here, and here. And in the next video, I will show what the pin layout looks like. Okay, now we have our straps pinned in here. I just eyeball it, and then I kind of measure it peak to peak and make sure that I am close. I just eyeball it. And then take and put, remember you're going to be putting right sides together, so you're going to tuck this in here like so, and then you're going to line up all the way around. So you're going to line up here and here, here and here. You're going to line up your peaks here and here and pin them. So I'll pin those and then start the next video so you can see it all pinned. Okay, now you can see how I pin it here. I just go ahead and put 4 pins in. Really, you can guide this pretty well even without pins. Obviously, pins will give you more stability. So it's just your comfortability. The really important part is to make sure that you line up here on your peaks and here. That way you have the cleanest seam possible when you turn this inside out. You'll see what I mean here after I sew it. Oh, and you sew it all the way around, except you're going to want to leave, you know, yourself a big enough gap so you can bring the inside of the mask through that gap. And then when we top stitch, when you turn it inside out and top stitch, that will close your small little area. Okay, we just got done sewing around the border, and we left ourselves a big enough gap here to pull back through, and that's whatever your comfortability is. If you don't leave yourself a big enough gap, of course you can always take your seam ripper and take out a couple stitches there. Obviously it's best if you leave yourself a big enough hole to get through. I can usually get it through about that much space. So take out all your pins. And then of course you still have the pins on the inside from your straps as well, so those need to come out too. So I usually just put my finger through the hole, pull them out, 2 on each side, of course. And then just go ahead and pull your project through the hole that you left here. And sometimes it takes some finagling. and that's okay. Just gently guide it through. And then after you guide it through here, you can pull up the corners and start, you know, going around the edge here and making sure that you pull out all the areas. And this is where you can see it's important that you line up these seams here, especially, which this is pretty close. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, just as close to the same vicinity as possible for it to look nice. And really, pulling your project back through, that's, in my eyes, that's the hardest part, really. Otherwise, I think it's a pretty easy, smooth process. So then I usually go ahead and since we stretch some things out here, usually I go ahead and tighten up these threads, make sure I have that area good and tight, and make sure I clip my excess threads before I go ahead and decide to get ready for my top stitch. So I go ahead and I fold this under, make sure I get where I want to be before I decide to add my top stitch, and make sure that it's going to look symmetrical to the other side here. So here and here. And then I'm going to go ahead and top stitch all the way around. Typically, I mean, I've been top stitching a little less, about a 1/4 inch, maybe a little less, give or take. I'll go ahead and do a real quick video after I finish it up. That way you can see it complete. Okay, and there you have it, ladies. You top stitch all the way around like so, and this one you can see is still kind of wrinkled here. I did iron the fabric beforehand, but it's still got a little wrinkly. And then you go ahead and iron it so it looks more like so and looks professional. And after it's ironed, it looks really nice on the inside, no raw seam, and it also looks really nice on the outside. And that's the finished product. Alright, ladies, good luck on sewing, and I'd also like to give a shout out to Betty Fleming, who actually is the one who gave me the idea and actually led me through how to get the seam to not be raw on the inside. So thanks again, Betty, and I am signing off for tonight. Good night, everyone.